Morning. Look, cloudy, little bit of wind. I've got me drone in the pocket, me Air 2S. Just going for a walk. I didn't want to go for a walk. That's a problem. I wanted to sit down and go to sleep. But you got to force yourself to do these things. Overdrawn with a bank? Do I care? They don't care. They charge you a little bit of interest, or it gets bounced, or whatever. You know, there's no point stressing over such things, is it? Either way, they'll make money off you. So we're going to go just up the front, going via the golf course, across there, and do a little bit of a flight. I'll swing it. Yeah, so I was watching a program yesterday saying we've actually had time travel since the 1960s, which would explain a lot of how things keep changing so fast, you know. But a lot of people say, oh, it's not possible. I don't think it's possible to go to the future. It's always possible to go backwards in time, I think. But the principle of, let's say, a Stargate, which, if you remember Stargate on TV, they were flying around the universe and what have you, and basically getting instantaneous travel, you know. Let's get past this stop here. Yeah, so the workmen are here. We've got a lot of cracked pavements, and they're gonna take all the paving stones up and tarmac it, which is a fair thing to do. Paving stones are rubbish. Anyway, what I was saying, yeah, Stargate off TV, and people were saying, oh, you know, it's impossible, you can't do that, and what have you. Morning. But I want you to think about something. 200 years ago, we would not be able to get a phone out your pocket and phone your friends, would you? You know, 2,000 miles away, they would say you're talking out your backside. But that's how technology's gone. We can actually talk to somebody in Australia from our hand with no wires. To somebody 200 years ago, that would be impossible. It's voodoo, it's witchcraft. And it's because they didn't have the imagination. And a Stargate is very similar to a telephone system. One telephone on its own is no good. You need two to make the communication. And obviously, going back before Earth was formed, there's been a lot of beings around, you know, in the other galaxies and whatever. Just made up, you know, kind of technology, and developed the Stargate. They came down to Earth, say, put one on the North Pole, give it its dialing code, like your mobile number, and then they went back to the planet. Now, to do that, they would have to go fly for, you know, like 130 years maybe. So they would have had lived and died on the ship, and the youngsters would have been the ones that came in and put the Stargate up. And then, of course, they would get back home easier by activating the Stargate and dialing home and just stepping through. Once that communication was open, you can transport yourself backwards and forwards as much as possible you want to do. And again, you'll be saying, well, is that physically possible? But if you think about it, your voice is getting transmitted into dots and dashes, yet it's producing exactly the same voice when it comes out your phone. So why can't you dematerialize a person into digits and carry on out, you know, out in the world to another world and assemble you? I mean, we don't, well, I say we don't have technology. Apparently in 1963 we were doing it, and once you've got the transportation of going from one star to another, then you could be actually going into the 7th digits, which is the time, which is basically a symbol on its own. It's kind of you know, where in time you want to be. And that's where it gets very complex. You've got to have the imagination. I mean, if you had a mobile phone and your phone in Australia, the phone doesn't know you're in Australia. The network knows you're in Australia. Same as the Stargate would know where you are in the world. And I suppose time, you know, because you'd have the carrier going across through the time scope. Anyway, 7 minutes. We'll call it a day there, and talk to you tomorrow probably. We're going to have a look at these waves because they're crashing up here and see what's happening here. Okay, bye.